Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of the world's biggest stars and some of my favourite people. And we tick both boxes today with Pixie Lott. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Well, I'm not as good as you. That's the problem. I mean, you're delicious. You're talented. I've been watching you this morning on YouTube, and those acoustic things you do are extraordinary, aren't they?
Thank you very much. I love doing acoustic stuff. So that's why I'm excited for the play, Breakfast at Tiffany's, because all the singing, there's a few little music moments and it's all going to be acoustic and it's going to be me accompanying myself on the guitar.
Before we get on to Breakfast at Tiffany's, which is opening in Leicester in just a few weeks, we're going to talk about The Money You Owe Me, because Mama Do was my favourite track for about a year and a half, and I played it virtually every show. So I think if we split the PRS, it's only going to be a couple of grand.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Was it really your fave?
Well, I think so. I think it's probably the greatest radio record of recent years because there's a long intro, so I can gobshite all over it, which is very important. And then it's just immediately up. And that's so important with music, isn't it? That you've got to set the mood. And that was great for radio.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I guess Mama Do has great memories for me because it was my first ever single. And I released it in 2009, so that was 7 years ago. And I still sing it at most of my shows today. So I've probably sung that song over 1 million times.
Going into this show, Breakfast at Tiffany's, might seem odd to some of your fans because they know you as a pop star, but actually you're not. And you go back to 11 with the Italia Conti where you started, and musicals have been a big thing of your career and life.
Yeah, I grew up doing lots of theatre and I went to a theatre school at Italia Conti. And yeah, my first ever experience at performing was when I was 5. I was part of an acting class at the Italia Conti school on a Saturday, and I just went along because my friend didn't want to go by herself, and then I realised that I really loved it. And then went on to go to theatre school for my secondary school, and sort of did everything, and music took over, and obviously then I just started writing and recording lots, and then I released my music. But I've always wanted to have the opportunity to get back onto the stage and do some theatre and get into acting. So it's so amazing this opportunity's come up, and I'm really excited to sort of go back to my roots in a way.
And it's proper. I mean, when you look at Capoto's writing and this show, I mean, you're filling Audrey's boots, which is not terribly easy. And then we look at this new single, Moon River, which probably was made famous by Andy Williams, but of course came from this show. The pressure on you to sing that right and properly and as best as you can must be great.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is a classic song and the original is so amazing. So like my other covers, whenever I do a cover, I like to do my own interpretation. So do it slightly different. So then in that way, you can never really compare it to the original, because I never think you can beat the original. Right. So I think it's always good to put your own little twist and little spin on it and sort of do it in a different way, different delivery.
I was listening to it in the car last night, and it's interesting. You sort of swallow words, don't you? There's a way you deliver stuff. I don't know how to explain it, but you don't say moon like I've just said moon. There's sort of the Pixie Lott way of doing it. You sort of moon. It's almost like Shirley Bassey.
I've never thought about that, actually.
Listen to it. Yeah.
I'm going to study it now you said that. I don't know. I guess I just sing it. I just I had the lyrics there, and whatever comes out, comes out. I don't really think about it.
You are the epitome of X Factor when I think about it. When you watch those live acoustic sets, there are so few people who can sit in front of a microphone with a guitar and just do it. That's a blessing, isn't it? Because you can't be taught that. You were born to do this.
It's just something I've always loved doing, and I love doing shows with my full band where it's like, having a party on stage, but I really love doing shows that are just acoustic because it does give you room to properly sing, and it's just the voice and an instrument. So it is one of my favourite ways to perform, and that's why I'm looking forward to doing that in the play, especially because it's me playing the guitar for the first time. I can stop when I want, I can go quicker, slower, and it's just gonna be really fun, I hope.
How do you do it when you're handed this big wodge of words and you've got to remember it and then stick these songs in between? Where do you start learning all that?
It's really hard because there's a lot of lines to learn, because I'm on stage like pretty much the whole time, and so is the guy who plays Fred, Matt Barber, who's brilliant. We have a lot of lines to learn, and I've never had to learn so many lines in my whole life because this is my first ever play. So it is tricky. It feels like doing homework, getting all the words into your brain. But hopefully, I think I'm nearly there.
Do you do the mirror thing, or do you just record it and then listen to it? What's your process?
I haven't done either of those. Maybe I'll try them out. But I just like sit there and just try and read it and get it in my head. I think the first time I had to go properly trying to get it into my head, I was like, okay, I've got the afternoon here. I'm going to go to Starbucks and I'm going to sit by myself for a few hours and just read it, cover it up, and then get it into my head. You know, the sort of read it, cover it up, look at it technique, that sort of vibe. It helps so much reading it with another person. I think that's the best practice, really.
There's been a lot of hype around this show and the pictures are stunning. They've put a lot of work and time and effort into it. When your name's above that billboard, which it is, I mean, it is you starring in this show, how do you deal with the pressure? Because you've walked on stages in front of hundreds of thousands of people, but it's 4-minute songs that you can get in and out of quickly. This really is driven by you and you're responsible for it. Can that send you a bit nuts?
You're making me nervous now. I think... I don't know. In my whole sort of so far, all the stuff I've done, I never like to feel too much pressure. I think because if I really focus on it too much, it would drive me crazy, and I know for a fact I'll be nervous before this because it's different to what I'm used to. You know, playing concerts in front of big crowds, because it is Holly and Fred drive the whole play, and it is focus on just acting. It's not just the whole thing, singing and dancing. So, and I want to do it justice. I want to do a good job. I always want to do a good job. So I know I'll be nervous, but if I focus too much on the pressure, then it will drive me crazy. I think I'll go insane. So I just have to, I think the best advice I always give people and try to give myself if I ever get nervous is to just enjoy myself. And if I enjoy myself, then hopefully the audience enjoys themselves too.
What's it like being attractive? I mean, I'm a deeply unattractive man, and then you see those pictures of you dressed up as Audrey trying to look like that part, because there's a classic, iconic look that you're going for, and you pull it off magnificently. Do you pinch yourself sometimes when you see these pictures of yourself all over Twitter and your own website? Because it is extraordinary. You know that's a blessing, don't you?
That's a funny question. No, I never really think about that sort of stuff. I just think, you know, it's exciting getting to wear all these cool clothes, and like, especially, I haven't had my costume fitting yet, but Holly's wardrobe's amazing. Like, she has amazing dresses and little suits and like the accessories and the way she wears her hair and stuff. So I feel lucky that I get to, you know, experiment with all that sort of stuff. And I've always loved fashion and makeup and stuff like that. So it's really cool that it sort of comes along with it.
And then we talk about the show itself. It is a play, not a musical. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a play, but there's just a few musical moments, which is the parts where, you know, like in the movie where Holly goes over to the fire escape and starts playing the guitar and singing Moon River. So it's things like that.
Do you think this is going to open you up to a different audience too? Because older people are going to hear your voice and go, oh, I wonder what else you've done. And like yesterday, 22 million hits for your most popular video on YouTube. It's quite incredible.
I didn't know that.
I seem to know more about you than you know about you.
You've done very good research. I'm very impressed. Yeah, hopefully it will open up to a new audience. I think, Moon River is such a classic song, and I think it does appeal to a wide age range because it is just a beautiful piece of music. So I feel honoured that I was able to do my own version, and I'm excited that, you know, it's going to be released on iTunes on the 12th of Feb, and it's available for people to buy. What's
your plan now? Because the music industry has totally changed, even since you first had Mama Do out. Let's face it, the whole thing has gone online and not really through albums or singles. Is your intention now to maybe forge your way into the West End, bring this to the West End? I mean, you're on tour for quite a while with it. You're opening in Leicester. Mm-hmm. What's your plan now? Are you just going to see what happens?
My plan is, let me think about this. I'll always love music. Music will always be my first love because I've just got such a passion and like connection. I just could never stop doing it. So I'm definitely going to still put music out this year and next year. Just like I said, because it's something that I love. So I worked a lot last year writing and recording for this next album. So hopefully people will be able to hear it soon. I just want to keep doing music forever. And it's been exciting that I've had the opportunity to get into acting. So who knows where that might lead afterwards. I'll see how much I enjoy it. And then see if I can still, you know, involve both things next year. have to wait and see what happens.
I hope you know how blessed and talented you are, because there are so few people who have that magic concoction of personality, voice, looks, and the ability to continue to do it. And you seem relatively normal. We don't get these stories in the papers of you falling out of clubs or being a nuisance or getting up to shenanigans. You sort of are very private, and you keep that so, don't you, deliberately?
Thank you very much. Very complimentary. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm completely normal. Like, I'm just, same as all my friends who I see all the time, still my friends from school. I see my family all the time. I've always been into this sort of, entertainment stuff, so I haven't really changed even in that aspect. So, yeah, I'm still the same person. I like to go out and have fun with my friends and celebrate my birthday and stuff like that. But,
would you ever be friends with an ugly person like me, for example? I mean, is this possible? Don't
Why
laugh.
are you saying you're not ugly? You can't say that about yourself.
Have you got your contact lenses in? Pixie Lott's going to be starring in Breakfast at Tiffany's, which opens at the Leicester Curve in March. I'm going to come and see you on opening night. I'm only in Nottingham, so it's down the road. Let's have a drink in the bar afterwards and celebrate, because I think you're going to have really great reviews to this, because when you look at what you do online, it's so rare and unique and brilliant, and you really are a true talent. Pixie, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.